Pound for pound boxing real news. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification if you want to be notified. Follow me on Instagram at P4P Boxing Real News. What is going on? Andy Ruiz versus Luis King Kong Ortiz, the Destroyer versus the King Kong. You know what I'm saying? What a fight. I mean, look, let's be 100% completely honest about this fight. Boring, right? If it wasn't for Andy Ruiz getting the knockdowns over Luis King Kong Ortiz, wasn't really no action throughout the whole fight. I mean, it was just a chess match, you could say, where Andy Ruiz is trying to get in because he doesn't have the reach or the length to get inside to fight Luis Ortiz, and Luis Ortiz trying to just out jab and outbox Andy Ruiz. Obviously, it didn't work to the fullest for Luis King Kong Ortiz because the Destroyer was there to destroy tonight. He knocked him down with some flashy right hands, that put him on his ass. And Luis Ortiz, he recovered well. Got back to jabbing and trying to stay away from Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz is very dangerous if you let him get on the inside. And I think that for the most part, Luis Ortiz did a good job at it. But when he did get a little sloppy, Andy Ruiz capitalized on it. When he did make a mistake, Andy Ruiz capitalized on it. Ultimately, getting the knockdowns, getting 2 knockdowns in one round. One, was arguably just a little, like, aftershock, what I'm saying, after getting knocked down. But, he got knocked down. Other than that, it was a pretty much a boring fight, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, a chess match where it is what it is. Luis Ortiz, though, that was the game plan that I kind of figured that he would bring to the table. I thought he would bring a little bit more, being that the atmosphere that you was fighting in, and being that Andy Ruiz would try to get in a little bit more. But you did see Andy Ruiz, he was a little cautious at times. He didn't want to step into it and really go because of the power that Luis Ortiz obviously does have. So on Andy's performance, I feel like being cautious was probably the best for him, especially for him being a smaller heavyweight. Where Luis King Kong Ortiz, you obviously see he's a way bigger dude than Andy Ruiz inside of that ring. Um, you know, and a dude that big and can hit, that's very dangerous. So for Andy Ruiz, it was best to stay away and just try to win the fight when off of his mistakes. And obviously you did see Andy Ruiz countering a lot of what Luis Ortiz uh, was throwing. You know what I'm saying? Luis Ortiz would try to throw, and Andy Ruiz would come in and hit him with some mean shit. You know, Andy Ruiz versus Deontay Wilder would be a great fight. You know what I'm saying? After the fight, obviously they asked, about Deontay Wilder, and Andy Ruiz wasn't shy about it. He said, we get that fight on and popping. Hopefully he beats Robert Helenius, and we'll be able to see that fight maybe next year, early next year. Deontay Wilder versus Andy Ruiz, which I think would be a great fight. I mean, Deontay Wilder doesn't possess the skill to keep Andy Ruiz at bay like King Kong Ortiz. Obviously, we've seen King Kong Ortiz when he comes into the ring. He comes in and he's a boxer. That's his natural state of mind. He's a boxer. He's gonna come in. He's gonna jab. He's gonna try to jab, work you, move around you. But Deontay Wilder is totally different from Luis King Kong Ortiz. Deontay Wilder is more, uh, I'm just gonna try to wait for you with my right hand, and when I see it, I'm gonna shoot it. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of fighter that Deontay Wilder is. He doesn't possess the skill that Luis King Kong Ortiz possesses. We saw that in the two previous fights that he had with Deontay Wilder, where Luis Ortiz was obviously a way better skilled fighter, was outworking Deontay Wilder. And if it wasn't for the equalizer, Luis Ortiz would have been the winner of those fights, of both those fights. And you know, Deontay Wilder versus Andy Ruiz would be a great fight because I think that Andy Ruiz would definitely be able to get more work done with Deontay Wilder. Now, could he be cautious? I think he's gonna have to be cautious, but not he can't be cautious from a distance. He's gonna have to try to be cautious from inside because that's where his best work is at. You know. And if you allow Deontay Wilder to get distance on you, who is a longer and taller fighter, dude's about he's massive like 6'7", 6'9". You know what I'm saying? So he would definitely have to get in on Deontay Wilder. He can't be at a distance. Deontay Wilder would generate too much power and ultimately get Andy Ruiz the fuck up out of there. But I enjoyed the fight though, man. I enjoyed the fight. I thought it was just boring at times though. Like, it was like moments where you will get those spurts from Andy Ruiz, and you would be like, okay, yeah, here we go. And then you got King Kong Ortiz back to jabbing, and then you got Andy Ruiz scared to go, try to get inside, just cautious, not even throwing a jab out. You know what I'm saying? No, barely any feints. Just coming, just moving around, just following whatever Luis King Kong Ortiz was doing. Obviously, King Kong Ortiz, I felt, was dictating the pace a little bit better than Andy Ruiz. But Andy Ruiz, what he did show tonight, he showed that he has a chin because he definitely got caught with some big shots that could have put him on his ass. But he does have a chin. And I think that defensively, he was a little bit more cautious. I think that's better for him. I think that was better for him. Obviously, we saw when he had Eddie Reynoso on his corner, he fought Chris Arreola, and Chris Arreola put him on his ass. And then after, he comes out and he puts an ass whooping on Chris Arreola. But I think tonight was the type of performance that he needed to have. I think a little bit better though. I mean, he's getting better. He's getting better. He's getting better. Fight by fight base, right? He's getting better. You could definitely see his skill in this kid. It's He's small. He's a small heavyweight. He's on the smaller side of a heavyweight. But his hands he has speed. He has crazy speed. So Andy Ruiz, um, he's gonna give problems to whoever he fights next. If Deontay Wilder is next, he's gonna give him a lot of problems. I feel like that's a fight where Andy Ruiz could possibly win against Deontay Wilder if he doesn't get knocked out, of course, because Deontay Wilder does have the equalizer, like I've already stated. He does have that equalizer, and that makes you very dangerous from the start of the bell to the end of the bell. You know, and Andy Ruiz, he's also dangerous from the start of the belt to the end of the belt. But tonight, I think that he felt what King Kong Ortiz was bringing to the table, and I think he fought accordingly, and that's what and he got the W. You know what I'm saying? He got 3 knockdowns throughout the fight, and he got the W. You know. Now, does he have Deontay Wilder type of power? No, not at all. You know what I'm saying? But maybe he has Tyson Fury type of power where he could catch Deontay Wilder with some crazy shit, and Deontay Wilder might be going night night. You know, I think that um, the better days of Luis Ortiz are obviously behind him. Obviously Luis Ortiz is an older fighter. This has been stated since before Deontay Wilder fought him. You know what I'm saying? He's an older fighter, and a lot of people felt like Luis King Kong Ortiz was being avoided because of the fact that he has so much power and he could box you, and he was a very complete heavyweight. He was a complete heavyweight. He wasn't like, oh, he's just waiting on the knockout, or oh, he's just gonna try to outbox. Like, he was complete. He had the power behind that that those boxing skills. But obviously his better days are behind him. I would say. I think they've been behind him for about 5, 6 years now. You know, it, but he's still out there though. He's still out there, so you can't knock him. He still gives you a war. He still gives you very good fights. You know, he's still out there and he's doing his thing. But ultimately, the younger guys are definitely he's gonna become, you know, a gatekeeper. Yeah. That's what Luis King Kong Ortiz is gonna become. He's gonna become a gatekeeper. Now look, we don't play the oh he fought them, and look who's better at all. You know what I'm saying? But it just shows you the level of competition and who's fought who. You know what I'm saying? Um, Anthony Joshua had to fight Andy Ruiz, got knocked out by Andy Ruiz, got knocked down by Andy Ruiz, and couldn't no more. You know what I'm saying? Then came back and outboxed Andy Ruiz to regain his titles. Um, King Kong Ortiz got knocked out twice by Deontay Wilder, and that was Deontay Wilder's toughest fight up until Tyson Fury. And now tonight, obviously you saw Andy Ruiz uh, knock King Kong Ortiz down 3 times. You know what I'm saying? So it just shows you when they want to make a star, they're gonna make a star, right? They're gonna make a star, and they're gonna hype whoever they fight, no matter what. King Kong Ortiz was live, but he wasn't deadly in there. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't deadly in there. Came in and he tried to put in some work, but it just was not working. And Andy Ruiz is a smaller fighter, you know. But it is what it is, man. Overall, I definitely enjoyed the whole fight card. Overall, from when the pay-per-view started, when we got Rayo Valenzuela versus Edwin de los Santos, and Edwin de los Santos, man, came out and surprised the crypto.com arena in Los Angeles, California, because I'm sure everybody there was high on Rayo Valenzuela, but obviously Edwin de los Santos had a different plan for himself. He said, "Fuck that! I'm gonna take this shit into my own hands." A very awkward fighter, a fighter that nobody knew, a fighter that took a fight on short notice, and he came and did his job. You know, put these young boys on their toes, man. You know what I'm saying? Because in the long run, this would probably benefit Rayo Valenzuela, and maybe Jose Benavidez Sr. You know, the instructions that he was giving, um, I wasn't too pleased with it, And obviously, I did say, saying it was only 3 rounds, and you really don't know this guy. You don't know what he does and what he does good. But this guy was very awkward. He was throwing wild ass punches. He was a wild fucking fighter, Edwin de los Santos. But he got the job done. This motherfucker has cinder blocks in his hand, yo. Cinder blocks for hands. You know what I'm saying? Dude is a fucking a, a, a street fighter legend out here. You know what I'm saying? And Rayo Valenzuela just had to pay the piper tonight. You know what I mean? And then Abner Mares, of course, a 4-year layoff, comes back and against Miguel Flores, gets the majority draw. A good fight. I thought Abner Mares, he came out very strong in the fucking in those first rounds, man. He came out very strong, wobbling Flores and almost getting him out of there. He came out looking like he never went on a layoff. You would think that he he never stopped working. You know what I'm saying? But the truth is, Abner Mares, he became a broadcaster, television personality, for the PVC, and for 4 years he hasn't done boxing. He came tonight, and it was pretty impressive if you really think about it. A guy that comes off a 4 year layoff comes out the couch basically, right? And he comes up and he was giving those right hands, giving a pretty good performance against this guy. You know what I'm saying? It just tells you the talent level where he could, if it wasn't for the retina, he would be way better now, right? But I'm sure retirement is something that he probably going to contemplate, especially because if you got to be cautious around the retina, um, you know, that's a hazard. You know what I'm saying? That's you have to, yeah, especially where in a sport where you're getting hit to your face. You know what I mean? So I think that he's going to go back, and he's probably going to weigh his options, and then we get the fucking craziest, a crazy co-main event, Isaac Cruz versus Eduardo Ramirez, who Isaac Cruz was the winner by a second round knockout. You know what I'm saying? What I mean, it was a spectacular performance. And I always say one thing that I always say is if the motherfucker don't belong in the ring with you, get him the fuck up out of there. Simple as that. He don't belong in the ring with you. And that's what Isaac Pitbull Cruz did. Eduardo Ramirez did not belong in that ring with him tonight. He got him out in the second round, um, in a stunning fashion, you know. And then we move on to our heavyweight bout, for the WBC heavyweight title eliminator, where you had Andy Ruiz Jr. versus Luis King Kong Ortiz, right? In a fight where I thought Andy Ruiz was going to win, and I thought Andy Ruiz is actually going to get the knockout. But Andy Ruiz did fail to get the knockout, but did get the victory. Andy Ruiz, throughout the fight, knocked down King Kong Ortiz, uh, with some mean shots. You know what I'm saying? Where I thought Ruiz Ortiz might have been out with the first knockdown. I thought he might have been out. His legs were definitely under him. I didn't feel like he would get back up, but he definitely did. You know what I'm saying? He's a warrior. You know what's good? HOD was good, bro. How you feel about them fights tonight, man? What you think about Andy Ruiz? What you think about Andy Ruiz versus Deontay Wilder? But Andy Ruiz Jr., Luis Ortiz, um, like I said, I did feel like the fight was boring at times, you know, and once Andy Ruiz will have those spurts and the knockdowns, that's when the fight was a little bit more, you know, crazy. I was once famous for sparring Teofimo Lopez. Who am I? Hey, yo. Nah. Hey, man. Hey, I want to see the video. I never seen like no video or nothing about it. I don't even know if they got a video on it. I definitely want to see. I remember when Tio fought Jason Bocachica, but that motherfucker, I wonder what happened to him. Yo, yeah, Rayo, man. Hey, I thought Rayo was going. I was like, yo, this kid, you know what I'm saying? He sparred Tio, He say he knocked them down or knocked them out in sparring. I'm like, yo, Rayo probably gonna be legit, son. I thought he was gonna be like that. And then tonight, yo, but this kid Edwin de Los Santos, bro, this motherfucker was the truth. He wasn't playing no games. He said, "All right, y'all called me up. Y'all thought I was gonna come here to just lose? Okay, I got something for his ass." Man, 14-1 with 13 knockouts. This dude was a knockout artist. And damn, son. Yo, I was once famous for sparring Teofimo Lopez. Who am I? Man, poor dude, man. Poor dude, yo. Because that shit sucked, though. That shit sucked because he is not an established fighter. You know what I'm saying? He is not an established fighter, and he gonna have to go back to the drawing board and start from zero. From zero. But that's gonna be the highlight of his career, though. Not knocking down Teofimo Lopez. So they say. I don't know though. I don't know. That's an allegedly. Cause I never saw the video or nothing. So I I don't know if there was even a video. I just remember when Boca Chica fucking picked T.O. up and fucking slammed him. I said, yo, he was mad as shit. T.O.'s had bad luck in sparring though, man. I think T.O. in sparring is not T.O. in the ring, man. He's had problems with hella fucking sparring partners. And they be hating like shit. Sparring partners be the most hateful motherfuckers. Like, why you hating so much? But man, that motherfucker Edwin De Los Santos has cinder blocks in his fucking fist, bro. That dude was de otro nivel. That dude was fucking on another level. He came in and said, man, fuck that. I ain't fucking losing shit. And he came in and fucked Valenzuela up. But yo, like, even the instructions Jose Benavidez was giving, it was like, what the fuck? What do you, yo, just give him something that he could fucking work on and do. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't giving that kid shit. I feel bad for that kid. And half the time he was fucking dazed. To be honest, I think that was the right call by the ref. Yo, he was gonna get knocked the fuck out and put on the poster if he didn't get if the ref didn't step in and just say, fuck it, nah, you taking this L. Look, because the ref even gave him time to recover in that first knockdown. You know what I'm saying? And credit to him, he came back and he knocked him down with a left hand that hit that equilibrium. You know what I'm saying? So credit to him for coming back, but it just wasn't enough. Dude came back right after that motherfucker got and that was great recovery time by Edwin De Los Santos. Let's be very clear about that. Very good recovery time. Yes, he got knocked down, and I think that everybody in the crowd was like, "Oh yeah, he got him now." Nah, son, this motherfucker gets back up and he's like, "All right, you want war? All right, I'll give you war." And went smack at him, hit him with a mean. Yo, I would say, oh nah, that shit is crazy. But overall, man, it was a good pay per view. You know what I'm saying? It was a good pay per view. I can't complain. Um, I can't complain. And obviously we see Andy Ruiz versus Luis Ortiz in the main event, and you're just like automatically like, what the fuck is this? But the undercard is really what made this uh, a good pay per view. The undercard, the undercard of this fight was really what made this fight a good pay per view. And you can't take that away from this fight. Andy did okay first time fighting a lefty who's also solid veteran. Yeah, I don't know about saying that. I don't know, man. I mean, Luis Ortiz, he's alright. You know what I'm saying? He's alright. He's alright. He's alright. Yeah, he didn't look too bad in there, man. He was cautious. He was waiting. He was trying to counterpunch. I think that Andy Ruiz's game plan was, he probably executed it. You know what I'm saying? I just thought at times it was a little dull, and he was getting hit with jabs. He wasn't throwing jabs. You know what I'm saying? I guess he's conserving his energy and just saying, "Fuck it, I'll just take these jabs because they ain't hurting anyways." But I mean, overall, he came in and did the job though. He got the knockdown. So and King Kong Ortiz, I would say, yeah, like a veteran. You know what I'm saying? A veteran. Um, a veteran. That's it. But this dude's been a veteran for like 10 years already. You know what I'm saying? And this motherfucker Andy said, "Hey yo, when they go and raise his hand, he said he was talking to the ref. He said, what he said? He said I've always wanted to fight him ever since I was a little kid. What? Hey, yo, what the fuck? How old is this man, bruh? He said I always wanted to fight him ever since I was a little kid. The fuck? Andy did good. Honestly, I think that Andy Ruiz would do better against Deontay Wilder than he did the night against uh, Luis Ortiz. Just because of the fact that, all right, if we take Deontay Wilder, whatever, we'll see what he does October 15th against Robert Helenius, right? But if we see what he did against Tyson Fury and beyond that, you know, a guy like Andy Ruiz will have success against Deontay Wilder because think about it. I mean, Deontay Wilder has the length and the strength, right? But the problem is he doesn't have a fucking jab to save his life, yo. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he doesn't have a jab. He doesn't have the skills that Luis Ortiz does have. You know what I'm saying? So Andy Ruiz, he would just, I think he will eat against Deontay Wilder. To be honest, Ortiz is really 55, yo. That motherfucker old as shit, bro. Bro, he's been 55 before he fought Deontay Wilder. Bro, this man's been old as shit forever. That shit crazy. You know what I'm saying? He was a solid veteran since before Deontay Wilder. Chill. That's Deontay Wilder's best win though. Yeah, I just don't see it, man. I don't see Deontay Wilder. I mean, of course, you see Deontay Wilder being able to beat Andy Ruiz because he definitely could catch Andy Ruiz no matter what, right? At any point in the fight, but Andy Ruiz would be a threat. He would be a player in the game against Deontay Wilder, and I think that he could get the job done if he works on a couple things and obviously he don't come out too cautious against Deontay Wilder. Fuck it. Fuck him up. You know what I'm saying? Because you saw Tyson Fury. He wasn't cautious, man. I mean, he would be cautious at times, but when it was time to go, he was ready to throw, too. You know what I'm saying? But that's what Andy Ruiz does have. He has those fast-ass hands, bruh. Them hands, fast as shit. Like, Luis Ortiz wasn't expecting to get knocked down in that first knockdown. He was trying to recover. I said, damn. And I thought Andy had him. I thought he was going to get him up out of there, but it is what it is. All Wilder fans were rooting for Ortiz. Funny as fuck. Yeah, man. It's just they could be like, see, I told y'all Luis Ortiz was good. Nah, my brother. And look, I'm pretty sure they're going to be like, oh, he's old as shit now. You know what I mean? That's exactly what they're going to say. Oh yeah, he's old as shit now. You know what I mean? When Deontay Wilder fought him, he was only 20 years old, and now a couple years later, he's 105 years old. We don't, he's just super old. He's super old. I think I saw dust uh, come out when Andy Ruiz knocked him down. You know what I mean? That's crazy. That's crazy. I bet they were rooting for Ortiz so that they could be like, "See, I told you." And look, obviously Anthony Joshua fought the tougher dude. By their standards, right? Because in reality, you know what I'm saying, you can only tell when they actually fight each other. As simple as that. But I'm sure they gonna be they heated. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers got excuses for everything. They be like, all right, well, we're gonna root for him, right? And if he beats him, we're gonna start talking about Anthony Joshua. We're gonna start saying that Andy Ruiz wasn't shit, this and that, and that Anthony Joshua was it is some shit and would have lost to Deontay Wilder if they would have ever fought. And then now that Luis Ortiz lost, they're probably gonna be saying Wilder's fans gonna probably be saying, "Oh, Andy Ruiz, he was old. Luis Ortiz was too old. He was too old. You know what I'm saying? They They weighed him out until he was way too old. But I mean, I guess because Andy Ruiz was trying. He said I was ever since he was a little kid. He was trying to fight him. So shit. I guess. I guess they fucking weighed him out. I guess Andy Ruiz weighed him out by their standards, at least, right? But it's about to be a lot of capping. A lot of capping. Deontay Wilder. I think we will see Deontay Wilder versus Andy Ruiz, though. I ain't even gonna lie. I ain't even gonna hold you. I think that we will see Deontay Wilder and Andy Ruiz because PBC. That's what they do. You know what I'm saying? They trying to build that up. Like I do think that we're gonna get that rematch between Isaac Cruz and Gervonta Tank Davis. I don't think a fight with Ryan Garcia is gonna come through for them. I think that the rematch versus Isaac Cruz is gonna be next for Gervonta Tank Davis. I don't know. I just got that feeling, but I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? I've been wrong before. I could be wrong again. But man, I'm about to get up out of here, man. It was a good night of boxing, man. The pay-per-view was definitely worth it. Edwin De Los Santos with a amazing victory, spectacular victory over Jose Valenzuela, winner by the third round knockout. Abner Mares versus Miguel Flores, majority draw. Abner Mares came out 4-year layoff. I think he looked good in those first couple rounds, man. He didn't even look like he was on a layoff. You know what I'm saying? Or coming off of a torn retina. You know what I mean? Um, I feel like he did a pretty good job tonight. You know what I'm saying? I can't say much about Abner Mares and what his performance was, obviously because we know that the ring rust was gonna be there. He got tired out towards the later rounds, but I'm not mad at that draw. You know what I'm saying? Because Flores had success as well. You know what I'm saying? So I can't take that away from him. And Isaac Cruz with a spectacular victory over Eduardo Ramirez. But again, Eduardo Ramirez was coming from the 130-pound division, and Isaac Cruz is already established in that 135 division. So, you know, I think that they wanted to get the crowd going tonight for that Isaac Cruz fight. You know what I'm saying? Get that crowd going. Get that fight. Start talking about Isaac Cruz and Gervonta Tank Davis again. Get that buzz going so that they can maximize their profit. I think that Eduardo Ramirez, was a pawn for their ultimate goal of being Isaac Cruz and maybe Gervonta Tank Davis again, because a lot of fans are asking for that fight now. You know what I'm saying? They're asking for that rematch. Obviously, we know that fight could have really been a draw because I felt like that shit was a draw, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that Gervonta Tank Davis won, and I don't think that Isaac Cruz won. I think that fight was a draw, but fans can make an argument for Gervonta Tank Davis and why he won, and fans can make an argument on Isaac Cruz and why he won. So it's a fight that, is still 50-50 up in the air, where fans feel like, yo, I think Andy Ruiz could get him. Andy Ruiz, Isaac Cruz could get him, or I think that Gervonta Tank Davis could knock him out. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I think that Eduardo Ramirez tonight was a pawn to that. You know what I'm saying? He was a pawn to that just to get the name buzzing, just to get the shit going. But Isaac Cruz is the WBC lightweight title, won that title eliminator. So, will the WBC say fuck it? We'll make a fight make you a mandatory with Devin Haney, but Devin Haney doesn't have much time left in the 135-pound division. So I don't see that happening either. Andy Ruiz Jr. versus Luis Ortiz. Uh, like I said, boring at times, but when Andy Ruiz went off, he went off. He got knockdowns, got the victory, which is all that matters. And we'll see what's next for Andy Ruiz, Isaac Cruz, Abner Mares, and Edwin De Los Santos. and also Jose Valenzuela. Definitely want to see what happens with that. You know what I'm saying? But Edwin de los Santos is a new player in 135, and I'm sure a lot of guys ain't gonna be too too in a rush to fight him. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he's just wild as shit with everything that he does. He throws shit with bad intentions. He's a way better version of Rolando Romero. A way better version. But like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification. You want to be notified. We out. Peace.